Hello, student. Let's see the problem. That is, what is there, student? Question based on the section 1. The pace of child development. How, what will be there? It is uniform. It cannot be uniform. Pace of child development cannot be standard and disorderly. Okay, disorderly. It is the complex, student, not the uniform. It has individual variation and disorderly. It is uniform, standard, and somewhat sequential and orderly. Has individual variation, somewhat sequential and orderly. So, has individual variation and is disorderly. It can be the option number B, student. Let us check this. No. Correct option is option number D, student. It has individual variation. It has individual variation disorderly, somewhat sequential and orderly. This is individual variation is important. Okay, here you see at which age of the children activity primarily focus on use of large muscle for the gross motor rather than the fine motor movement. So they are using the large muscle for gross motor rather than the fine motor. So it can be middle age, student. It can be the option number D. It can be, student. It seems D. So correct answer again. It is wrong, student. It is the infancy. So see how wrong we are opting. Next one you see, student. What can be the process of teaching young generation about social process through everyday interaction is called sociability, culturally socialization. It must be what, student? Socialization, option number C. That is correct. Next one, fourth. According to John Piaget, the infant explores the world by coordinating sensory experiences with the physical action in concrete operational stage. So, infant explore the world by coordinating sensory experience with physical action with physical. So concrete operational stage it can be, student. No, sensory motor stage. John Piaget theory: a child who perceives car to believe because it moves is demonstrative. So what can be its answer, student? John theory: child who perceive car to be alive because it move in demonstrating. So in mystic thinking it can be correct option. According to Kohlberg, the last stage of morality, of individual principle and conscience of moral development, is characterized by what, student? Seeing rule and fixed and absolute, wanting to be respected by other. Well, believing that individual must test the social news rather than the follow them blindly, feeling them their duty uphold law rules their own sake. So correct is believe that the individual must test the social law rather than follow them blindly. As per the law Vygotsky, when a teacher adjusts the support offered to a child to help the child reach her zone of proximal development, she is using supporting to the child to help scaffolding. Law Vygotsky proposed that development is synonymous with learning, occur independent, it not impacted by culture factor, cannot be separated from social context. Cannot be separated from the social context. Which one of the following does not ensure child centered teaching learning? Which of the following does not ensure the child centered teaching learning? So we need the here negative answer, student. This is the negative statement. So answer: so safe and secure child friendly school environment, fear free environment. This is the positive, no? This is also positive. Practice of positive discipline in the classroom, positive. Recognizing a student as passive recipient of knowledge. So option number D is passive means negative. This is negative. So correct option must be option number D. So this is correct. Individual having high are typically good at reading, writing, and telling a story. So, linguistic, intelligent, interpersonal, musical, logical. So, good reading, writing, and telling a story. So, linguistic intelligence. Option B. Proposes that the language had significant impact on the cognitive development of children. Who proposed the cognitive? Lev Vygotsky proposed that the language had significant impact on the cognitive development of children. Which of the following is an effective strategy to reduce gender bias in elementary classroom? The teacher should ignore the dismiss gender related issue in the classroom. The teacher should assign equal responsibility to all the children in various activities which takes place inside the classroom. The teacher should give physical tasks such as arranging desk, voice soft, the decorating bulletin boards to girls only. Wherever the only came, that is the become wrong answer. The teacher should not have the much expectation from the girls. Much expectation again it is the wrong. So correct option is option number B, student. Let's check. Yeah. In a classroom which with a diverse learner, the teacher should. The question they are saying, in a classroom with a diverse learner, the teacher should what student? Diverse learner are there, so what teacher follow the curriculum in which they include the culture, language, child in the class, promote stereotype and biases, wrong, create rigid structure, rigid is wrong, make separate section based on ability, wrong, follow the curriculum in which they include the culture, language, children. So option number E must be correct, student. Conducting a group discussion, a teacher asked the children to discuss impact of the corona pandemic on the children from various aspects. What type of thinking does the teacher promote? Procedural learning, critical thinking, convergent thinking, rote memorization. So it can be critical thinking. Next one. Which of the following model assessment would not be used in the socio-constructive classroom? Socio-constructive classroom is there. Classroom observation, peer assessment cannot be used. Standardized test, social which of the assessment would not be used in the socio-constructive environment. This is the standardized test. Next, the philosophy of the inclusive education. Philosophy of inclusive promote all practice of the exclusion. It based on the premise of having the segregated school for the learner based on their ability, is limited to including children who are visually challenged and hearing impaired. So is limited is not. Challenge are exclusively policies and practice. Inclusive education means to follow all of them, promote all practice of inclusion. So it can be the correct option is based on the promise of the having segregated school. Segregated school not a concept, is limited to including children who are visually challenged and here no. The option A should be correct. Challenge are exclusively policies and practice. Option D. In a heterogeneous classroom which has students of mixed ability, the teacher should use some teaching learning method for all. Make use of diverse teaching learning method. So option B. Next question you see. Which of the following are effective adaptation for a student with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder? Allow student to stand while working. The first one is the negative statement, so it cannot be. Break the task into a small part. This can be correct. Strictly enforce time limit to finish the class work. Strictly word is negative, so it cannot be. Give one task at a time. That can be correct. Second and fourth can be correct. Is there option? No. First, second, fourth is there. Option B. First can be correct, student. You can make them stand outside. Not outside while working. So this is the correct. Next. Which of the following is correctly matched pair of the children and identifying characteristics? Correctly matched pair of children. Creative student rigidity in approach to problem solving. Autism, repetitive motor movement, student with learning disability, very poor memory, student with visual impairment and hard of hearing, creative, student rigidity in approach to problem solving, student with learning disability, very poor memory. Which of the following correctly match pair of the following correct children and identify. Option number B can be answered, student. This question is quite B. Autism, repetitive motor movement problem. In which of the following ways can a teacher promote activity, creativity in the student? By asking questions that are diverse in nature. By asking questions that are diverse in nature, that is the this is also going to be positive. Being sensitive and flexible to student unusual responses. Encouraging single right answer, no. Providing rigid direction, no. So maybe the option it can be first second. The first second of the day. Check. Yeah, it's correct. For learning to be the effective content, should be diverse by lecture method. No, lecture method you cannot be the diverse. Should be connected to the real life experiments. That is correct. You should connect them to the real life experiment. Yes, sir. Some teacher must enable its to children to find their voices in nature, their curiosity to do things, to ask questions, and to pursue investigations. Learning is an act of meaning making and not the ability to reproduce textual knowledge. Teacher must enable children to find their voices and nurture. So, option number both A or B are true, and that is correct. Constructive teacher is what was the give both example and non-example in classroom. Give only example refers to only non-example. So not give both example and so give both example. Motivate the learners to believe in themselves and work harder. Same hopelessness, fear and anxiety. View ability as fixed, incontrollable. View of ability incremental and collaborative. The teacher conducts some activity aiming to evoke previous knowledge of the student at the starting of the teaching learning process. Which of the following is not correct in context of this activity? Not correct. They help building the connection of knowledge. That is correct. They are waste of the time and resources. The option second. This is connecting is not the waste of time. They are not helpful in making the learning process effective. This is helpful. This is helpful. They are positive and psychological initiative to prepare the student learning. So option, second and third option D is correct, student. So check with this. Correct. A teacher can help the student cope with an anxiety. How is the teacher can help? By giving them the severe punishment. It is not helping the anxiety. By offering the reward this little bit. By telling them to do repeated practice through the recall. That is correct. By taking to them about their feeling and helping them. It is also correct only. But the teacher can help a student cope with anxiety. That is, he is very much anxious. So offering reward cannot be remove the anxiety by telling them to repeat practice through the recall, by texting, mm, by talking them about feelings and helping them. So option D is feeling is the cause of the anxiety. So option D is correct. How can teacher encourage children to become intrinsically motivated learners? How can teacher encourage children to become intrinsically motivated learner? Intrinsically motivated learner by praising high achievers, by punishing low achievers, by promoting them to copy the teachers, by inculcating a sense of joy in learning. How can teacher encourage the children to become intrinsically motivated learner? By praising high achiever, by punishing low achiever, by promoting them to copy the teachers, by inculcating sense of joy in learning. How can teacher encourage children to become intrinsically motivated learners? By praising the high achievers, by punishing, by promoting them to copy the teachers, inculcating a sense of joy in learning. When Jafar asked the middle school student today, "What did you learn about how you learn about what process is he encouraging? Conditioning, limitation, memorization, recall, metacognition. A teacher shared with her student how to approach a problem by going through the whole the steps of the problem solving. Think it out, demonstrate to students is an effective teaching strategy. Think around, demonstrate to students is an effective teaching strategy. So both A and B are correct. A child emotional states affect her performance in school. Child emotional state affect the performance in school. Cognition and emotion are interrelated. This is again correct. When we subtract 1 from the 4-digit letter number we get, what number we get? The 3-digit least number, the 3-digit greatest number. When we abstract 1 from 4, 3-digit greatest number, 3-digit greatest number, option B. So 31 question actually we solve in a team. That is good.